Welcome, Aries, to your Venus in Aries deep dive forecast on March the 6th through to March the 30th. Venus, the relator, the planet of harmony, but also the planet which is very much to do with attractiveness, arise in your zodiac sign for 25 days. I'm going to share with you the event chart of when Venus arrives. That tells us a lot, but also the upcoming influences and how they're going to impact personally on you. So by the end of the forecast, you have a clear picture around your relationship, but also financial prospects for the next 25 days. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now. Venus is very much about aesthetics. It can be about seduction. And in your zodiac sign, it gives you a lot more confidence to make bold moves. But technically, Venus is detrimented in Aries. Why is that? Well, Venus rules two zodiac signs. The very sensual Taurus, very much to do with our life foundations, values, anything to do with how we value ourself, but also everyday money, and also an appreciation of those more sensual parts of intimacy. Its rulership of Libra, however, the sign opposite Aries, is very much about balance, equilibrium, and meeting people halfway. Your sign is about action. It's coloured by the passion of Mars, your ruler. So it's said to be a position for Venus where Venus perhaps can rush things or perhaps enjoy the thrill of the chase, but not so much a more stable relationship. But what will it mean over these next 25 days? So on the screen, Aries, you can see Venus has just arrived. This is based on Universal, Greenwich, and the Prime Meridian, because I feel we can all collectively relate to that. And you can see that Venus is almost immediately connecting to the mystical energies of Neptune. You could be exuding quite the aura at this time, and someone could find you almost irresistible. However, by the 8th of March, Venus moves forwards and comes into an exact conjunction with Saturn. Venus being in detriment and Saturn being in full means if there is someone you're attracted to at the moment, but you're not quite sure about how they feel, if you do try to rush, it could actually spoil a good thing before it even gets going. And to be honest, if you are in a relationship which is not necessarily at its best, bumping along the bottom, Venus combining with Saturn can bring relationships to a complete end. But that's only going to happen where a relationship is weak. In fact, by the 10th of this month, Venus forges a wonderful link to Pluto. Pluto very much about transformation. You could encounter someone through your social situation who just seems to have a greater depth to them that you may find very intriguing. Then again, in any existing relationship, even if Venus applying to Saturn has created perhaps some cool moments and perhaps a little bit of tension, it is possible that by the time Venus forges the sextile to Pluto, by the 10th and all through week 2, you can really appreciate the value of that person. That doesn't have to be a romantic partner, a lover. It could be a friend. However, in week 3 of March, we do have Venus and Jupiter, the two planets of fortune, in a right angle. And although Jupiter does go direct on the 11th of the month, if you are on a diet, for example, it may be very difficult to maintain that diet through week 3. But equally, if there is someone you really like, you can find yourself very, very generous in trying to impress them with some big gestures, which I really would suggest you don't rush. But by the end of the month, Venus is going to be combining with the gorgeous Chiron. Chiron can be a superpower. And if you have been feeling a little bruised about your personal identity, I feel by the end of the journey through your sign, Venus can be very restorative. You may give yourself a fashionable makeover. If you feel you are a dedicated follower of fashion, you could give yourself some tweaks which just add extra pizzazz. If you are someone who's been going through a breakup or experienced a separation, and through Venus's journey through the sign of Pisces, you went through some deep grief, or you felt very nostalgic for someone very much from your past, Venus applying to Chiron by the end of this period, I feel will help you to heal, help you to release, help you to move more into the moment. Now, having Venus in your own sign can give you greater urgency, a greater desire to make fast moves on anyone you like. You much prefer people to be direct and straightforward with you, and also you can enjoy the thrill of the chase. But if you are looking for something more meaningful, particularly that link with Pluto in week 2, can be very helpful indeed, Aries. Now, to summarize for your relationships, I think a weaker tie can be tested by that conjunction to Saturn. A tie of any kind can gain uh, greater depth with Venus's link to Pluto. When it comes to your financial situation, if you are trying something new, I think you're being asked initially with Venus applying to Saturn not to rush what you're doing. But if you are a creative and you've got ideas you want to share that you're really excited about, by the end of Venus's journey through your zodiac sign, I thought other people would be much more aware of the brilliant things you've got to offer. For your deep dive forecast for March, please click on the screen. And to take advantage of my unique offer of 50% off your forecast and life roadmap, natally or draconically, please see the link below for more.